Hey, what's up? Silas here. I'm going to be talking about sorrow in this, and I'm going to open up by reading this one thing I saw. I'm going to put it up on the screen now and read through it. We should remember sorrow shared is sorrow diminished. If a friend of mine gave a feast and did not invite me to it, I should not mind a bit. But if a friend of mine had a sorrow and refused to allow me to share it, I should feel it most bitterly. If he shut the doors of his house of mourning against me, I would move back again and again and beg to be admitted, so that I might share in what I was entitled to share. If he thought me unworthy, unfit to weep with him, I should feel it as the most poignant humiliation, as the most terrible move by which disgrace could be inflicted upon me. He who can look on the loveliness of the world and share its sorrow, and realize something of the wonder of both, is in immediate contact with divine things, and has got as near to God's secret as anyone can get. By Oscar Wilde. So yeah, that was a quote by Oscar Wilde. There's a part here, this line, I would come back again and again and beg to be admitted, so that I might share in what I was entitled to share in. That part really jumped out at me. It really stood out of the entire thing. And this is a question I wanted to ask some of you guys is, have you ever been in a situation where you were sporting a friend or somebody you thought was a friend, and you get there, and how do you get to know if this is something that you should participate in? How do you normally gauge that, okay, this is a situation where you feel your friendship is at strong enough of a point where you can share this moment with them, you can share that event with them? I'm trying to think of events that I've been to, things that I've seen, people that have welcomed me into their reality tunnel, into their existence at that time. And I feel like from traveling around, I don't know if this is necessarily me just projecting my experience on other people or being just too introspective about this, but I feel sometimes that I just bungee in and out of people's lives, and sometimes I feel awkward, like, should I really be here for this moment? Whether it's times of joy, but I think it's a lot more, it sticks out a lot more when it's times of sorrow. You feel, okay, am I overstepping my bounds being here by asking, by saying, by witnessing the people in that moment? And there's this thing where sometimes some people will say they want to be left alone in times when they likely would do better having somebody around them. I want to ask you guys, has that ever happened to you where there was a time something happened to you and you felt, okay, I should be by myself, I should be hidden out by myself, and then somebody in your life, whether you expected them to or not, came in and pushed through? Have you had situations where you've told people, no, I want to be by myself, expecting them to push through, and then you found they left you alone, and you were left in a situation of just, wow, what do I do now? And what's your general reaction when people in your life, people are going through a tough situation? Do you go to them? Do you push through if they say they don't want to be left alone? Do you listen to them? How do you pick up on that? How do you notice what is appropriate to do? Because there's a lot of situations where you can just have like the different customs and you just go through, and I've seen people deal with death in different cultures and different places and different situations, and they're through lines. There's an aspect where there's a celebration of the person's life, and then of course the aspect of the deep sorrow of that person going away. And for me, I like focusing on the fact that if you never actually had a close connection with that person, there wouldn't be a reason to be sorrowful. So partially that sorrow you feel comes from having that strong connection with that person. But when it comes to saying what people say and what people do in them, one of the things that people often say is this, I'm sorry. And for me, that's one thing that since 2 decades ago, there's something that happened to me 2 decades ago. I was with somebody, I was good friends with that person at the time, and they ended up telling me something really personal about their life. And it was a life and death situation about their life. And I just had that gut reaction to just say, I'm sorry. And then they said, why are you saying sorry? This is not something you did. It's not something you directly did. You were not responsible for this, for that thing having happened. And then I said, well, that's kind of what people say, so I don't really know what else to do. And the person said, well, the fact that we're close enough, or we're in a sort of relationship where I can talk to you about this, is enough, is something. And since then, what I normally do in these situations is I just offer to be there to listen to the person, because I can hardly imagine in some of these situations what I would do, let alone what they must be going through at that time. So the best thing I can do, and the thing I guess I'd advise for you guys to do, what do you guys think about it, is just asking. The thing I've found to do is just ask, how are you? What can I do? I'm here. If there's a way I can help, I'll try to. You know, there are times where you're in those situations, you're wondering, really, what should I do for this person? And whenever somebody asks me that, I say, yes, just ask them. I mean, ask them or ask somebody else you think that's close to them. Just avail yourself to be there for that person. And of course, now it even goes into that, how do you know if you're close enough to that person to avail yourself to that? In some of these situations, when it happens, somebody who you haven't talked to for years or decades could come back into your life, and then it also gets to the point where you're like, is this person coming because it's what people do? Are they coming because they've remembered something in their life? Is this something where we can pick up what we had in the past? And yeah, it's a tough time, and it's a tough subject. I'm not quite sure how to close off with this, so I'll just close it off here and ask you guys, what has your experience been? I hope I'm not bringing up any too negative emotions if you guys are bringing up memories or situations by talking about this topic, but I think it's a decent topic to talk about. If you guys are willing to share and let me know what you guys think, experiences you've had, the process you go through, how you approach this, how you kind of tell if somebody really needs you to be there for them. How do you know if this is something that, yes, I'm going to go up and show up for them, or how do you feel like, okay, I might be imposing if I do go up there, we're not that close yet. But yeah, just let me know. Links below to that Oscar Wilde quote. I think it's a really good one, worth reading and checking it out. He's got a lot of good ones. But yeah, till next video, like, share, and subscribe. This is Silas. Goodbye.